Let the word go
The
forth.
challenge, the opportunity to connect. The 1960s, a time of imagination and change, a time of anger and fear. The 1960s, a pioneering program called Challenge
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
that looked at our connections, our divisions, through the lens of shared values.
For something real.
60 years later, we examine our divisions, our connections, our shared pains and successes in a new program called Challenge 2.0. The story of today's Challenge episode was born in tragedy. A young woman who unsuccessfully sought to escape an abusive husband died at his hands when she was unable to find safe shelter. But it inspired a response that has literally saved thousands from similar fates. That response is called Maher, or Mother's Home. The setting for the story of Maher is in India, but it demonstrates the healing power of determination, imagination, and compassion, a healing power that spreads beyond the borders of any single nation or region. Well, we're very pleased to have with us Sister Lucy Kurian, who is both the founder and also the director of Maher. And we hope in this program to hear all about that. It's an amazing story. I know that you are now at 68 different homes, I believe.
Yeah.
There are thousands of people that have benefited, whose lives have been transformed. But I think behind those numbers, there are the individual stories that maybe can give us a first sense of really the change that you make in people's lives. Could you maybe just share, and I know there are many, but maybe just share one story of somebody who's really had their life changed for the better?
Of course, in Maher we have thousands of stories, but one of the story that I would like to share is there was a woman who had come to us with 2 children because she had suffered domestic violence, and then she wanted to escape that, and somebody gave her our address and she came. When she came to our home, she was, her sari was pulled down, and she would never lift her head up to talk to us because she's an illiterate, and she had never spoken to any outsiders. In India, once they get a little older, means maybe about 18, and they get them married very young, okay? And so they home, and after that they have seen only the in-laws' house. They have never spoken to any other people in the world in that sense. And when she came and when she suffered all this, she came to us, and she could not even tell her story why she was there in Maher. It took her some time to open up and tell what it is all, because she felt that she was the cause, she was suffering, and she wouldn't even, was not even able to say anything about herself. It took us some time, and we had also a lot of patience with her to open up and tell why she needed a shelter. And after she told, I understood the full story, what was happening. Because in India, they will never leave their home very easily. Because once they leave that home, then there's no identity for them. Where will they go? So they normally won't leave unless it is really, really very serious. So then after understanding her, we kept her at home, and then we were seeing to the education of her children and also her. And slowly we encouraged her to speak, put her head up, and, look into the other people's life. And they said, when she started hearing the other people's story and relating to the people, she understood there's some other life here. I can live my own. Before that, she was so afraid. And then we started giving her slowly some kind of training, and we taught her to stitch many things, like how she has to use a machine, how to use her scissors, and she would cut the pattern on a newspaper, keep it, and then cut again. That was the way she was learning. We gave her time, and you won't believe what has happened to her now. She's become so independent. She has taken her own. When you say house in India, it's just a room, okay? But even then, it is her own now. And she has taken her children back, and she's able to live on her own. A lady who could not even tell her name, and now she's there in the world doing so well, and now she's stitching those bags, sometimes she brings it to Maher or she finds market for herself and she's managing her life. I feel so proud of her because I know what was her background and now what she is. And now she takes the mic even to tell the people what was happening. And she's on the stage. She can relate to people, all those people who are coming there. And she said, see, don't have to feel shy, don't have to tell things. We are not be blamed what has happened. It has, so many things has happened, but now we should know how to live our life. This way she has become so bold in telling things because her husband was a very bad alcoholic and he used to hit her and she was going through hell. And finally when the 2 sons were born, and that's where she came to us. And I can tell you, she's really doing well. And when I see that, I feel very satisfied the way Maher is reaching out to people.
Now, you've seen that story of transformation. You've seen thousands of others. Each of those stories also have a shadow side. The story that led you to found Maher in the first place. Can you describe that for us, what happened?
Actually, as you said that I'm a Catholic nun. So in the nunnery, we had started some kind of social work. I was in that house where we were running like a training program for the underprivileged women. And I was there in that particular community, and a woman from that village where we were running the training program, she came to me and said, I need shelter somewhere for the night because her husband had become very violent after alcohol. And so she said, immediately I need the shelter. I listened to her, but I knew that we would be able to help her in the convent. So I was forced to send her back. I knew whatever she had told me was a genuine story, but I did not know how to help her. Within the nunnery, it was not possible. And I sent her back. Unfortunately, that very night, he must have become violent again. And in that anger, he poured kerosene and set her on fire. So, and this particular woman who came to me, she was also 7 months pregnant. And I heard the shouting and yelling. So like any other onlooker, I also ran there to see what was happening because we were involved in that particular village.
All this.
Yeah. So I went there, and when I reached there, I realized, this is the same case that had come to me. And I tried to save her, but it was too late. We did not have a car. The convent did not own anything. Neither the people in the village had anything. So it took time for us to reach her to the nearby hospital. When I reached her, doctor said to still late, and she's already 90% burned. And then I asked doctor if anything can be done to save the baby, because I had no clue. Once a woman burned, the child also can be burned and things. I had no knowledge of that. And then doctor operated on her, and what we got in our hand was a fully burned baby. And this is the incident that really shook my entire life. And I said, no, I cannot continue staying in the closed walls of the convent. I need to go and do something. Of course, it took me time, but in 1997, I opened the first home. Now we have, as you said earlier, we have 68 homes, and there are nearly more than 2,000 people living in this home.
Wow. What have been the total of people that have moved into the homes since you started then in 1997?
Yeah, it is the children, more than 5,500 children, and women over 5,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And we have also men, over 400 men have been with us. At present, we have nearly 200 homeless men who are mentally disturbed, mentally challenged, or aged people, or handicapped, anyone who is on the street.
What do you think? Obviously, you've shown a lot of resilience, and as you said, you were greatly troubled at the outset of that experience. But what do you think enabled you to move from that emotional distress to getting that sense of there is a need to be met here? and I have an idea of how to meet that. What led you on that path?
During that time, I was confused because not knowing, I had this desire to reach out to people, but I had no money. I did not have the education that was needed to start such a project. But there was a dream project in my head, I could say. Like I was thinking, I wish I had a home to rescue these people from the street. I had that. And then the convent itself, they sent me for a counseling to a Catholic priest who was teaching Hinduism and Bhagavad Gita and comparative study between Christianity and Hinduism, etc. And he was a very open-minded man. And he told me, Lucy, because I was telling him that I want to do, but I don't know what to do, and things like I was sharing with him my frustration. So during that time, he told me one word, and that he said, if you have love in your heart, you will find a way. You can do something. So actually, this is the sentence that struck me most, and then I started thinking what I could do. And then I can say the divine energy showed me the way. I met the right people. The first person was from Austria, and then from that, he came to meet me in India, along with his son. They are musicians, and then he told me, you can start something if you are thinking of. And he gave me some money that was enough for me to buy a small piece of land. That was in 1993. But I could build the home only in 1997.
This has moved from just being your effort. You couldn't achieve all of what you've achieved over the last 27 years. But give us a sense of the people who are helping you now.
I have people of all religion working with us. One of the strong point of Maher is that we started it as an interfaith organization. And I want to show you also this particular banner. This particular banner hangs in every home of us. If you see, these are the symbols of all religion. And I have put the divine light, or you can call it God. Every religion will have a name. So every religion is teaching us to go to the divine or teaching us to go to God. So I put this particular banner in every home of us to just to feel that everyone is welcome in our home. No matter what religion, caste or class you belong to, you are welcome to our home. So that's the way we had started it. So we have all our board members are also belonging to different religion, and the staff members are also belonging to different religion. And I can tell you, of course, we have lots of training program for our staff, and they are taking it forward. And the board members,
What backgrounds, the people that help, do they generally have a certain background in terms of training that draws them to you? Social work, counseling, something like that?
Most of them are trained social workers. And then we have also, like we call them parasocial workers, they are not fully trained, but trained enough to take it forward. Then we have the house mothers. Those women who come with a problem, we train them to take care of the children or as caregivers for the mentally disturbed women whom we pick up. And also the men who are there, they are social workers, and they take care of our mentally disturbed men and aged people, and also the handicapped, how to take care. Of course, the focus just now of Maher is how to keep the body and soul together of these people. Okay, later on comes all the training program. Of course, I have seen the homes in US and in Europe. It's much, I don't know when we will reach that stage. But at the moment, my focus is how will we rescue people from the street.
You have a great range of programs, certainly the homes that you bring people in who need simply a place to put over, roof to put over their head, but you also have other programs. Give us a sense of the range of programs and services you offer.
Yeah. When I started only as a short stay home for the women. But then later on, I understood there were so many people on the street. So I started picking them up. And also, I found children. And the women who were coming to us for help, they were also coming with children. Okay, so in the beginning, I had not thought of the children. I only thought of women. And then later on I understood, no, I'm so impractical because women means also children. Okay, so then I started homes for children. So at present we have 37 homes for children. Nearly 1,000 children are with us.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course, over the years, more than nearly 5,000 children are gone out of Maher. Many of these children, in India, we have to find partners to get them married. It's not so common that they find their own partner. It's not easy, or it's not common for them. So we have to find partners for all our children. And so I'm happy to say nearly 203 marriages took place in Maher. All these partners we found for themselves. And maybe because of the divine energy that is working, they all are working well.
Good.
They're settled very well in life.
Well, that had to be difficult too, because they've gone through traumatic experiences in relationships before, and so to develop that sense of trust and of possibility to enter into something like that.
Yeah, it's not only women get a remarriage, but also children.
Right.
And also the mentally disturbed women, when they're all right, because they are mentally disturbed, nobody wants them. Okay. And then it's also they are finding very difficult to find partners in the sense because they are not well, or people consider them as, nobody accepts them. So I find partners in our homes if they can, and then we give them a little room where they can live on their own. But food and lodging is with us, because if I send them out, they won't be able to manage to live. They need that support system. So we have created several rooms, little small rooms, where they can stay by themselves, but at the same time for everything else they are with us. They need community community life to carry on. See, one of the things that when I started home, I kept in mind that how this, at least in the villages where we are involved, how will they not need a home like Maher? Towards that we have been working. So we have a lot of training program, awareness program in the villages, so that they will know how to manage themselves, and no need of a home like Maher. Because I don't like children and women, or even men, institutionalized for too long. But at the same time, now we cannot help it, so we have to. So I have both in mind the future of the village people who should not need us, and at the same time people on the street who need us. So I kept both that in mind, development work as well as charity work.
You mentioned, and you showed us with the beautiful banner there, how you were making people comfortable of many different faith backgrounds, many different traditions. In this country, there's a lot of discomfort among some groups. How do you, and is that even an issue, when you have people that are living in a common area of different backgrounds? Do you encounter some difficulties or challenges, and how do you reach out to them to bridge over those differences?
Yeah. When they come, naturally, they lived in that particular religion and they have been so comfortable. Now they don't know how to manage when they come into a place like this. But slowly we give them the training, all our prayers are addressed to the divine energy.
Right.
Not to any particular religion as such. So when children and women, when they come to us, we teach them how to pray. But mostly how to meditate. Because meditation as such has no religion. Okay, so that's why we teach them. And all our, the songs that we sing, all that is addressed to the divine energy and not any particular religion as such. But if you come during Christmas, you may think I have converted all to Christianity because that's kind of spirit in my head.
Right.
And if you come during Diwali, you may think, oh, all these children are Hindus, the way they celebrate Diwali. And if you come during Eid, you may think, all of them are Muslims because that day we dress the children like Muslims. It's a fun way of teaching the children and also others how to respect and love one another.
Do some of them express to you how they've grown personally and benefited from being in an interfaith relationship?
Yeah. There was one of the women I'll give you one of the story. One woman who came to us, she was taught during her menstrual period she should not enter into a temple, So she was standing outside the thing and looking at us praying from the window. So I called her like that and she said no. And I was wondering what was making her feel uncomfortable. So later on I spoke to her and she said, I'm taught during the period not to enter into the temple or sit for prayer. Then I told her, no problem, in this place you can enter. And she felt so happy. She said, all the time I was taught that during my period I had to be out, don't touch this, don't touch that. So I was brought up that way. But now when you are telling me, it takes me little time to come to that. I said, don't worry. And then when she was going, her problem was sorted out. And when she was going out of Maher, I asked her, is it okay for you to live in now go back and live in a thing, and how will you feel? And then how did you feel in living in Maher? Oh, she said, the best thing I enjoyed is that I could come and sit for prayer any day. That was the thing that she enjoyed, she told me. And then she said also I really learned to meditate in this house. I had not known how to this thing because she said, I had seen people entering the church, they're saying some prayers. When the temple, they ring the bell and we go there. Everything was noisy. But when it came to Maher, I really learned how to pray. In the sense she said, I learned to sit in silence and meditate. And that is helping me a lot. That's what she said.
Do you think there's a message there for people that are reluctant or maybe even opposed to interacting with people of different faith backgrounds, different cultures, beyond the people that live in Maher, but even in this country? What message might that be?
I feel, the problem with us that we never make others feel comfortable with us. Okay? Once we talk comfortably to the other religious people, I think they will accept us. The problem with us, we think that my religion is so great. Okay, so that superiority brings all the division. If we have to keep it open, because of course I have been brought up in a very traditional Catholic family, and for me also it was really difficult to know how to accept, how to go about. It took me time, but once when I kept it open for all the people, I found it was very easy to move on with the people. And I never brought the religion in Maher, and so it was very easy for me to. Even I feel even for others it will be a very nice thing to just keep it open. Then let the people come, and we go there whenever possible. Of course, I go to the temple. I go every religious places.
What would you say to such people that might be interested in supporting?
People who can help, I always welcome because we need that. So we have in US, we have I don't know how you call it, an organization. And people who donate to that organization, which is called US Giving to Maher, they can get tax exemption.
How would you suggest that they reach out to people that might be in need in their own community?
Yeah, I have seen a lot of homeless people even here. And I don't know the rules of this country, okay? But in India, it is different. So I just pick up and then inform the police, and then follow all the other rules. And we be fearless and have love in your heart for the people who are suffering. That's what I have. That's my way of looking at that.
When I hear you speak of that, it seems that it comes down to we all have a basic need and a calling as human beings. How would you express that?
In simple word, I used to say, love is my religion. Okay, and I keep try to share, no matter who they are. Okay, keep sharing love, and then automatically, we'll find a way how to help out.
I can't think of a better way to conclude our conversation. Thank you so much for coming in and joining us.
Thank you.
Much success to you and to Maher. And I hope all of you will tune in again next week on the next episode of Challenge 2.0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister. If you've enjoyed this program, found the conversations informative, interesting, and thought-provoking, and the visions of people from different backgrounds, faiths, or wisdom traditions inspiring, people who can disagree without being disagreeable and respect the essential human dignity of all, perhaps consider supporting our organization with a contribution. Your donation will not only support this program, but also the broader work of our nonprofit charitable organization, Paths to Understanding. Thank you.